Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Parent Pivot Podcast. And as you can see, I'm flying solo here today. That's because Julia has been way under the weather lately, and so she is literally sick in bed right now. So I thought, you know what, let me come on. Every Tuesday, we want to put up some new content for you parents that are pivoting to partners. Gosh, let me start off by saying how grateful we are for all you who listen, and we look and we read the reviews, and it's amazing that God's using this. All of our failures and things that we can pass on to y'all, and the things we've gone through with our adult kids. In fact, speaking of adult kids, if you're watching on YouTube, this is a shirt that we had made. I'm going to zoom in on it so you can see it, and we have photos of our three of our four kids getting married, plus an ultrasound of our first grandchild. That's our oldest son and their first grandchild. In the middle is a photo of Julie and I. And we had these shirts made after 2020. We had 3 weddings in 5.5 months. And so today I'm just kind of celebrating family. Literally on the back, it's kind of like one of those concert t-shirts. So the back, you get to see all the different dates and what things happened. And if you scan that QR code, it takes you to the blessing song. And can I just say, if you listen to that song by Carrie Carnes called "The Blessing," we have passed that on to our kids. That's one of the legacies that we get, and it's fun to watch our kids now play this song and sing this song and give our kids the number 6 blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may the Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you His peace. I started doing that when the kids were in the crib, and we haven't stopped. And even as we live in different states, I will still take my morning walks and think of them and the grandkids and just pray that blessing over them. There's nothing special. I need to be physically present, but you want to start a good legacy. That was our blessing of 2020. 3 new in-law kids and our first grandchild during the pandemic. So anyway, but back to us. If you could pray for us as we enter in the holiday season. We're in the same space you are. We've got a lot of stuff going on. And like I said, Julia's getting sick. I'm trying to keep from getting sick because I've got a busy week this week. But if y'all, we consider you family. If y'all could just remember, to add us to the prayer list. We have a thing coming up in February that I want to make sure you all know about called the Grandparenting Summit. It's being done through Legacy Coalition. I'll put some notes in the show notes. I'll put a link to that there. We'd love to have you come. It's in Birmingham, Alabama. Julie and I are going to teach a workshop for parents of adult children who also are caring for their elderly parents. So we kind of call that the sandwich generation. And how do you maneuver that when you've got stresses in life going one way and then stress in life going another way, plus you've got your own marriage and your own relationship going on? What do we do to kind of make sense of that? So we're going to teach a workshop on that. It'll also be available online. And when they record that, we can also send that up and put that in our show notes later in the spring. So anyway, that's what's going on. But I did want to leave you with something today. I wanted to bring some content. I sat there and thought about it. I was like, well, I don't want to just do nothing on this week. I want to put something out there to get you thinking. And I don't know how many of you are big fans. I'm a big fan of apps that I use on the Bible. One I use is called, you guys know this, the 1 minute pause that John Eldredge has used. I've mentioned it many, many times. I also use one called Abide. A lot of meditations that I love doing there, and another one called Dwell. So I love that. But one of the ones I've been consistent with over the years, dating back to, I think I started in 2015 or 16, is called the YouVersion app. And many of you probably use that to have a Bible thing on your phone. But I religiously am learning different things about my walk with Christ, about a dad. And one I came across particularly that I'm going through right now is by a guy named Dr. Tony Evans. I don't know if you know him, but he's got one called Detours, Lessons from Joseph, a 6-day reading plan by Dr. Tony Evans. And the reason I mention this one to all of us parents that are pivoting to partners is because, like me, again, I am in this boat, so please hear me. I have a plan for my life, and I just need God to get in line and be able to tell me, and make it happen. I love myself, and I have a wonderful plan for my life. And sometimes sometimes, all the time, every day, as John says in the Pause app, I surrender everyone and everything to you. It's a surrender. And so as I read this Detours plan on Lessons from Joseph, Dr. Tony Evans does an incredible job. I'm only on like day 3. Incredible job of just pointing out, hey, all of life really becomes a detour. I was just talking to one of our sons yesterday, and they're trying to figure out, do they want to stay living where they're at? Do they want to move? There's all sorts of things entering that decision. And a lot of times, I'm a planner. If you're a type A, I'm a planner. This is how life goes. This happens and this happens, this happens, this happens. We've done a lot of podcasts on that. And I'm a recovering type A planner, controller, all that stuff. So please hear me, hear my heart. But Dr. Evans does a great job on this because life comes with detours. We all know that. We don't expect them. We don't know when they're coming. They just come. Joseph obviously had a huge detour. He ends up in the bottom of a pit. Brothers want to sell him into slavery. Here we go. So that's kind of like the extraordinary biblical example. And, I can sit there and go, yeah. I've heard that story of Joseph, and I'm sure there's others and blah, blah, blah. And it goes in this ear and out that ear. Now, as a partner, I've got adult children. Guess what? Detours still happen. And all of a sudden, Dr. Evans brings us to a certain place where I'm like going, oh, wow, that makes so much sense. So I've been kind of going through that. I wanted to leave you with that content. You can just go into your YouVersion app and go to that little magnifying glass and hit discover and type in detours and then look for the one by Dr. Tony Evans. I promise you, you'll gain something from it, especially if you have adult kids, because it's kind of like we're turning them loose. It's like, okay, world, here you go. There goes my offspring. Off they go. And, do I want it to turn out well? Well, of course I do. But I have no control over that. See, that's the thing. This is where the surrender comes in. And this is where my relationship with the Father is growing deeper and deeper all the time, because I don't have control over that, nor can I get control over that. I don't need to sit around worrying about it, fretting about it, or I'm losing the joy living out my own life. And things, and I'm enjoying my empty nest season with Julia and things, and I think she's enjoying it with me too. I think she is. She smiles and laughs, although I have a sense of humor that's kind of like dad jokes, and sometimes she just looks at me and I'm going, oh, come on, you thought that was funny. Anyway, that's that. But anyway, I did want to leave you with that. I wanted to leave you with some content, with something on this Tuesday. We haven't gone anywhere. We wanted to put something up. So here I am sitting here by myself. But thank you for those of you who are listening to us. You're sharing us on social media. A lot of good things are coming up. We have other people lined up for interviews. We're getting into the holidays. We will probably take a holiday break somewhere, in December, maybe mid-December, something like that, and come back in the new year, just because, it's just kind of hard to keep doing things like that and traveling with microphones and stuff like that. But thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for your loyalty. Thanks for listening to us. I love reading the reviews and the comments, everything. But if you got a question for us, or if you need help in any way, I am going to sell my wife because she's not here. Let me just say this. I would not be who I am right now without her. She's got this incredible gift and wisdom and discernment and knack to see every relationship situation and be able to validate and empathize while speaking truth and showing me the direction I need to go. Now, what's my first reaction? Yeah, right. I'm not going to do that. But you know what? I have learned over the years, she's always spot on. She is. And so what I'm going to sell to y'all, or just mention to you about, is we're in the middle of trying to transitioning her from, and you can pray for this, we're going to transition her from going to work at a counseling practice to becoming a relationship coach. And just what would that look like? Well, for all of you out there, who might have a certain relationship, it could be with your spouse, it could be with a son, a daughter, a coworker, whatever. But there's probably only one tiny situation. Hey, this comes up, and here's how I'm feeling, whatever. And it's just really one conversation, maybe two. And to go pay for therapy is like they charge $150 an hour. That's crazy. But y'all want to be able to say, I need to talk to someone who really knows what they're doing and can listen to all that and provide some sharp counsel. That would be Coach Julia. So we're going to transition her beginning in 2025 to her on her website, which is meadowbrookcounselingga.com, and add pretty much in, relationship coach. And if you have something that you want to talk over with her about, we're going to reduce that at 150 hourly fee down, because if you're a podcast listener, we're going to reduce it down by a third and just knock it down, because you don't, if you don't have any skin in the game, you don't take things seriously. But we want to give you a 33.33% discount. And believe me, $100 to have an hour-long conversation or whatever with my wife, that's going to quintuple over time and things. So I'm highly. She would not allow me to say this because it's a good thing she's sick. I think there's a reason why God made her sick this week, so that her hubby could come on here and love her well and elevate her. And so you can get a hold of her by email us here at parentpivotpodcast@gmail.com. You can direct message us on Instagram and Facebook. We are not the ones on there. I have hired my talented daughter, who's a YouTuber and all things expert social media wise. And so she's the one that manages that for us. But please, that's also at Parent Pivot Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. We love you all. Thank you for continuing to listen to us. I did not want to leave you with nothing. I hope this helps. Trust me, 6 days reading this message on the YouVersion app by Dr. Tony Evans, and you will be blessed. Thank you again so much for listening to the Parent Pivot Podcast. We will talk to you guys next week. Bye.